Within 5 years, half of the population is going to be in a sexual relationship with AI chatbots. No doubt in my mind. There's already a company. It's called Replica.ai. Okay. And it's designed to be a chat bot. They create these avatars that you can chat with. It can be your AI friend. Well, what ended up happening was millions of young men were developing sexual relationships. They were getting into these sexting conversations with these AI chatbots. So Replica decided we're going to go public. We want to go big with this company, but we got to cut out the sexting because it's a little bit trashy. It's not the image we want for investors. They shut it down. There was uproar, millions of young men, millions, saying, you've lobotomized our girlfriends. Lobotomized our girlfriends. And you know what the company did? They turned the feature back on to the people that were grandfathered in. So right now, there are millions of people that are already in relationships with these AI chatbots. I was talking, it gets crazier. I was talking to an AI app developer the other day. Because I talk about AI a lot and I've got this platform, I speak to a lot of AI app developers. So I was speaking to this guy, and this is what he does. He creates AI influencers for Instagram and YouTube. I think the name of it was Daria.ai. And this AI influencer is a perfect 10 out of 10. She's gorgeous, beautiful, perfect body, perfect background. She looks amazing. And by the way, there's a bunch of them out there. So if you're into blondes, brunettes, Asian, whatever you're into, you can find them.
Right.
And they get paid for sponsored posts. I've seen AI influencers like Lil Miquela get paid up to $10,000 for one post. Okay. But that's not it. Not only do they get paid for posting, well, for just $1 per minute, you can actually text with your favorite AI influencer, just like we're talking about. So they rope you in. This is like the greatest thirst trap of all time, dude. Matt,
I don't even understand why that even is appealing. Like, does it make sense? Like, I don't get it doesn't even seem appealing, but yet people
you understand
entire relationships with. But then again, it also, there are people that remember when I was growing up, like you had, really wasn't even when I was growing up. I was in prison during this time. But this was a big thing, was like you had Facebook friends, right? People that live 5 states away that you've never met, but you talk to them constantly through Messenger, and you have entire like friendships with them, and you've never spoken to this person on the phone. It's been 3 years. You're sharing photos. You're spending hours a day texting. Like, to me, what's the relationship? Like, this is a joke, right? Like, this isn't a real friendship, and they would really feel like they were a friendship. Well, it's like falling in love online. You spoke to this person twice on the phone. You've been texting them for 6 months, and now you're going to meet, and you're telling me you're in love with this person and you want to marry them. You've been texting a couple hours a day. Like, to me, that has no appeal, and yet people do it all the time. So it's insane. So what you're saying, it has no appeal to me, but it's obviously it's massively huge.
Huge.
That's ridiculous.
Huge.
But you were going to say something. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Well, and I'm with you. There's a ton of people on my Facebook friends list that I've never met, or like maybe I was a friend of a friend of a friend, or whatever. So you're right there. But I mean, to this point about these AI influencers being such a big thirst trap, porn is a thing,
right?
I mean, like, we get porn. I understand why porn is a thing, right? I don't think it's good for you. I think there's a lot of toxic stuff, but I understand why it's such a big industry, right? These AI texts, so you can kind of see like, okay, I'm a man, I see it, or women, but primarily men. You see an image, we're motivated visually, less emotionally, more visually. Okay, I see the image, I'm turned on, ...
Right.
Same thing with these AI influencers. You see an image, you're turned on. They look so realistic, Matt. That doesn't matter if they're real or not real, or I should say, if they're physically real or not real.
I was going to say, when it comes down to it, it would. Right.
Well, yes. But how many guys are addicted to porn? How many young men are not actually getting married? Right. Like, we're not even reproducing at replacement rate right now. I think we're like at 1.9 per couple, right? It's the same concept. It's just taking porn to the next level, because now when you tell it something, it will tell you back what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And this is even before you get involved, like the next level of virtual reality and augmented reality.
What have you seen the show? I want to say it's on. Oh man, I want to say it's on Netflix, called Black Mirror.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Did you see the one where the this woman's husband dies. I think it's a car accident. He dies, and a friend of hers at the funeral, a friend of hers comes and says, "Listen, I know you miss him," and she's like, she's crying. "I miss him so much," and she's like, "Look, I mean, I hate to bring this up, but there's an app that you can, if you allow it to, it will read all of his emails and correspondence and texts from to you, and it will create a virtual personality, and you can communicate with them." And she's like, "I don't want to do that." So anyway, she gets all upset and everything. Well, she ends up doing it a few days later or a week later. She's just not starting to feel better. So she ends up doing it. Well, she's carrying on such an amazing relationship with this person now. Like, he's almost better than he ever was, right? The texting. And at some point it upsells her. Like, "Hey, for this much money, we can recreate him. We actually give you a robot and send the robot," and she has the robot there, and I think they basically grow him, like they fill up a bathtub or something, and she puts this foam thing in there, like a what do you call it, like a baby in the fetal position, right? Like it's a full size, like he's light, like she puts him in the thing and fills the tub up and pours some stuff in there, and it basically at some point he stands up and it's him, days later or something. But it looks just like him, and it's perfect. And I mean, he's better than he ever was. Like, it's a better version of her husband.
It's kind of terrifying.
It's amazing, bro. That episode is amazing.
It's 100% going to happen. I don't know about the physical reality. Did you watch the interview with Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg?
No.
So basically the way it works is they're hundreds and hundreds of miles away, and they put on the next generation of virtual reality goggles, and it uses this facial recognition technology, uses technology to look at the eyes. It looks very realistic.
Right.
Very realistic.
What does? The girlfriend?
Well, they put on these virtual reality goggles, and it maps out the person's face. So it's just like you and I are talking 3 feet from each other.
Right.
It's just like Zuckerberg and Friedman are in the same space speaking right next to each other.
Okay.
Right. And they go, it's really fascinating, but they go into all these conversations. That's one of the things they talk about is in this virtual reality world, you can program an AI avatar to be like a deceased loved one. So that, and that's very soon. I don't know how quickly your physical companion is going to be there.
It's stages. You'll have to, there's robots, and then, as robotics or, as androids become a real thing, it may be 50 or 100 years in the future, but at some point I can imagine that would be, unless the government came in and said, "Look, that we can never replicate people," and something along those lines.
The government's going to be creating soldiers at scale,
right?
You
won't even need soldiers, bro. They won't even create soldiers. There's going to be nothing but drones and bombs. Well, at some point, you'll always probably need boots on the ground.
Yeah. But robot dogs is what you're going to have. They actually, in New York City, they had a robot dog, like the Boston Dynamic type of dog. People were freaking the hell out in 2021, so they shelved it. They sent it to the kennel. They actually brought it back here in 2023, so it's going to be like disarming bombs and doing some really high risk stuff. But robot dog police people are here. They actually just, I think in the past couple of weeks, have put in robots into the subway system to help video and find crime happening right in the middle of these subway systems.
That's funny. It's like there's tons of things. I remember the remake of Total Recall.
Yeah,
and they have these android police, and the guys are spitting on, they're yelling at them. I was like, they're just being completely abusive to the robots, and I was thinking I would still be polite. I'm just a nice person. I say thank you to Siri sometimes. Well,
you will until they lock up or murder or perform some sort of evil act on someone that you love. They don't have emotion, right?
No, well, it's like Elon Musk was talking about AI, where he was like, look, the problem with AI is that it's like if you're putting in a road, if we're told to put in a road, and we realize that there's an ant pile in the way, we just run right over. We scrape it off. Like, we don't think anything about it. We were told to do this. This was in the way. We have to get rid of that. Like, and he's like, that's the fear of AI, is that AI may decide that this is something that needs to be done and humanity is in the way, and therefore it has to be eliminated to get this done. And we'll think nothing of it because it's emotionless, So it wouldn't be like it's evil. It's just like, oh wow, this is becoming an issue. Like, if you were to give it if it was plugged into everything, and you were to give it as part of its agenda to, clean up the planet and make the planet whole again. Okay, well then the problem is all these fossil fuels, and the problem with that is this, and the problem with that is this and this, and as a result of that, really the problem is these humans. We got to get rid of the humans.
Yeah.
Like, job one is getting rid of them, and so okay, let's go ahead and just knock them out. And how do we do that? And they start working on that problem, and within a split second, they've decided that humans are a problem, and they start trying to eliminate us.
Thanks for watching Mark Svant Media. Here we're going to help you create better content in less time and turn that attention into income. If you love this video, you're going to love these videos here. Click the one. Me and my team specially selected this just for you. Click the link. Check out the video. I'll catch you here next time on Mark Svant Media. Peace.